group a little bit. Right now it's a little bit shaky, but it's March 2nd, so they have time. But they got up the middle. They got Spangenberg at second. I think he's a slight upgrade over Jet Jerkel there, and Alexi Ramirez is a definite upgrade over what they had at shortstop last year. I mean, they had Jerkel playing there and Will Middlebrooks playing there, so
sure.
That should be a little more steady for them. And then Melvin Upton and John Jay in center most likely, and the catcher position's kind of interesting, but I think up the middle, their defense will be improved, and that will lead to the entire unit being improved as well. And you combine that with the pitching, it should be a couple wins better than 74 wins last year.
Sure. Who wins the World Series? It's early.
I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals again. I know that might be doubling down on them, but I just looked at their team, and they have no weaknesses. Ian Kennedy was an interesting pickup for them. I think that contract got a lot of people by surprise, but guy who eats of innings like that is going to be very valuable, and they just don't really have any holes right now. So I really like them to go back to the World Series again and possibly win it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the projections always hate on Kansas City, giving low projection. It's crazy. I guess they put too much emphasis into the starting pitching. I don't know why, but it's a good pick. Listen, I know you went to USC. I don't know how much you're into college basketball, right? But who wins the national championship this year?
Yeah, I have to say I'm a fair-weather USC fan, considering what they've done the last couple of years, but it's been interesting to watch them a little bit. But that said, I think Kansas, what they're doing right now, I think Derek Norris, who's from Kansas, will agree. I know he didn't go to school at Kansas or Kansas State or anything, but he's definitely a Kansas fan, and I think he'd probably be better suited to answer that question. But just judging on what they've done recently, I'm going to go with the Jayhawks. All
right. Do you guys? Is there any buzz around that San Diego State team around there? You guys into that, or is it just more of the same, where you sort of have a great year and then they sort of die in the playoffs? Or that, I don't know if San Diego's a big college basketball town, but.
Oh, it is, especially considering what the Padres and Chargers did this past year.
Right.
But yeah, they have a lot of athletes. Steve Fisher's a great coach, but their problem is they can't shoot at all. So when you get into the playoffs, yeah, everyone's defense is good and they can't shoot. So yeah, they might not even get into the big dance, considering they've had some really bad losses. So
true.
Yeah, I think their chances of getting in this year are looking pretty slim right now.
Yeah, I hear you. They can make a run. They played good last night. But listen, I appreciate you taking the time. I'll let you get back to the game. Maybe we can catch up mid-season, do a little report, see what's going on with you then. If you want, let everyone know how they can get a hold of you or where they can read you. I'll tell you, I read a great article you wrote, and what I like about your writing, who did you write about? I think it was about the pitcher, Ray. Who did you just write about? I can't remember the pitcher.
Yeah, that's right, Colin Ray.
Right.
That was yesterday.
I like how you don't just do sports and numbers, which a lot of writers are getting into with the analytics. I liked how you brought it home, gave a little inside look in the off-season at home at the whole farm thing. You're a great read. Let everyone know where they can find you so they can also take a look at that stuff.
Well, you can find our site at San Diego Union Tribune.com, and I'm on Twitter at SDUT, Dennis Lynn. That's a Lynn with one N.
All right, excellent, bud. I appreciate it again. I'll let you get back. We'll stay in touch, and hopefully we'll have you back on in a few months.
Sure. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, bud. Thank you. That was Dennis Lynn. We go San Diego, one down, one up. My opinion on them as far as win totals, I'm going to go with the under. I'm going to disagree with him. But very knowledgeable guy. So we'll see what happens. Yes, Jeff, their chance of getting in is pretty slim. This guy is serious. Yeah, I would take it for what he's worth. He writes for the newspaper in San Diego. Yeah, if they don't win the tournament, they're not in. But hey, what does he know, right? But good guy, real good guy, very knowledgeable, and honestly, he really gives you a good inside look with his writing, as far as off-season stuff, off-the-field stuff, family stuff. He's a good writer that way. If you're into analytics and you want to read about the Padres, take a look at Corey Brock. He's been doing it forever, and he knows his stuff when it comes to analytics. But that'll do it for that. Let's get into some college basketball now. Hopefully we still got everybody there. If you guys want a game that I can go over, I shall. There's a bunch of them. Like I said, let's get right into the... You know what we should get right into? Let's get right into the... excuse me, hold on. Let me get rid of some of these windows I got open here. Let's get into the 2006 Northeast Conference Tournament, right? We got a couple games going here today. Lines are a little We got Robert Morris, 10-point dog at Wagner. Now, you guys got to remember, these games are at the home team's court. They're not a neutral site, okay? We got St. Francis against Fair Dickinson. 3. The line's 3. It's up to 5 on that one. Glad we took care of that last night. And then Sacred Heart minus 2.5. It's down to 2 against Long Island, okay? And those are the top 3 seeds in this tournament, right? And why is that significant when we're talking about the 1, 2, and 3 seeds? Well, in the quarterfinal round play, right, it's been pretty predictable in recent years. The 1, 2, and 3 seeds are, get this, a combined 29-1 in quarterfinals over the last 9 years. The 1 seed, I believe, is 32-1, even further back. But that one loss came last year. St. Francis beat Bryant 55-54. Other than that, the top 3 seeds have not lost a game in this tournament. It's been pretty chalk for the most part. And it used to be a neutral site, but I think the last 6, since that stat is out, it's been since they went back to that. Here we go. Since the league scrapped the divisional format in 1984, the number 1 seeds are a perfect 32-0 in the opening game of the tournament. They're 9-point favorites today. I'm going to tell you something before we get into this. I like Robert Morris in the points here, to be honest with you. In the second round, it doesn't just go by that. They reseed in the second round, right? You look at Wagner. They're 11-3 at home. Get it done there. But again, you know, if you look at recent matchups with these guys, and I wish I had it in front of me, but I don't. But Robert Morris has really owned this tournament. They've won it the most times. Let's see, where is it? You look at all the home teams, Wagner, Fairfield, and St. Brooklyn, right? They win a combined 23-13 at home also, so that digs into that no upset theory. Although, you know, it would take a 1-8 upset. That's never happened. 2-14 happened once. Happened once in the history of this entire tournament. Only 5-7 seeds have beaten a number 2 seed ever. You know, so where I'm getting at, really, is the fact that this goes pretty chalk, right? And the only one that you really have to worry about when it comes to point spreads, now you do with Fair Dickinson. This opened at 3.5. It's up to 5. That's something you have to worry about. The Sacred Heart at 2, 2.5. You know, you can play the money line there and be fairly confident. And again, if you want to, what I did, and I actually sent it out, and I don't often send out parlays. I sent out a Sacred Heart money line, a Fair Dickinson money line, and a Wagner money line parlay. It pays pretty good. It pays over 2-1, I believe. But you look at the last time these guys played, and the last game in a couple of these situations, the teams that are playing today played in the last game of the season. You look at Wagner against Robert Morris, at home against Robert Morris last week. They won 62-54, despite Robert Morris only shooting 36%. They were out-rebounded and everything, but they kept it close. Earlier in the year, in January, Wagner goes to Robert Morris. They win 72-69 on a last-second shot. Another close game. Robert Morris, in past years, have absolutely blown the doors off of Wagner. Wagner's good this year. They're a big-time favorite. I think they're minus 310 to win this tournament. However, I like the points today. But if I'm going to bet the money line on who wins this game, I'm going to take the 3 home favorites. Jeremy, I knew you were going to chime in today with this Alabama game, and we're going to get into that because that one scares the hell out of me, to be honest with you, looking at that game. But let's stay in the small conferences. So that's that on that. The other one is the American East tournament, right? You got Stony Brook against UMBC. There's one for you, Jeff. Who is the mascot for UMBC? Good luck with that one. Albany against Harvard, right? This is where I'm aiming in here, right? The Hawks have gave the Danes a good run for their money in the final game of the season. There's another one where they've played. It was a good game. It wasn't good enough. Now with both teams having a chance to scout each other a little bit, it's going to be interesting. Boasting Rookie of the Year and Sixth Man of the Year, okay? Albany has, right? They have Joe Cremo is going, and Pancake Thomas, right? I believe he's the Sixth Man of the Year. I think he had 30-plus points in 6 or 7 games for Hartford. It's going to be a closer game than people expect, I believe. Okay, they've played them tight. You're getting 19 points in this one. 19. Okay, I would really consider doing that. As far as a free play, I'm on that. Now, as far as maybe taking a play to what am I trying to think of? Taking a future on this tournament. Who can win this tournament? If you look down, obviously you want to try to avoid the 1 seed if you're betting, because there's really not much value when you're betting on a 1 seed to win these small conference tournaments. And the most part, especially in these small conferences, you're laying money. It's like, what are we going to lay money for in a future? Stony Brook, minus 320, right? This Albany team that's playing tonight against Hartford's plus 225. Where I'm looking at is Vermont. Vermont plus 850. They have a decent team. They should get by this first round. That's good. Over in the Northeast Conference, I talked about Wagner being minus 140. I'm going to take a shot with Sacred Heart at plus 675. Then, in the Missouri Valley, Wichita's minus 275. Northern Iowa is a popular pick, obviously, because they're playing well, but they're going to catch Wichita before the finals. They're in the same side of the bracket as them. I'm going to take a shot with Illinois State. They get the bye. Then, I believe they only have to win 1 game before they get into the finals against Wichita. Right, so if that's the case, I know you probably get right around that number anyway, but I'll take a shot with Illinois State at plus 660 to win that one. In the Ohio, I was looking at Tennessee Martin to maybe make a run, but I really didn't have a great decision on that one quite yet. The Retrievers, yes, Jeff, the Retrievers. Sorry, I didn't look. Hartford, USC, Maine are horrible. Yes, the win-loss record are absolutely horrible, but if you dig into the numbers, there's not many very good teams in there. Albany's not that great, to be honest with you. So, I think Vermont, especially in the second round, if things go chalk and Albany plays Vermont, the 2-3 seeds, I think Vermont beats Albany. I don't think Albany's that great of a team. So I'll take a shot with my 20 points with Hartford, especially, like I said, after they just played a close game. They just played each other. They're going to know how to hang around. I might be wrong, but we'll see. So in the small conferences, Hartford plus 19, Robert Morris plus 9.5, the Sacred Heart minus 2, Fairfield, whatever. Put them in a parlay. Not the Hartford, but the other 3 in a moneyline parlay, getting into the bigger games. And I'll go into that Alabama game for you, Jeremy, because honestly, I'm not loving it. I mean, it's one of those games that when you go down the list, it sort of sticks out at you, and I think the line's down to 3 at this point. 17-11 on the year up against Arkansas. 15-4, this Arkansas team. They do a pretty good job putting wins together. When they are off a win against a conference rival, they're 6-1 against the spread. You'll get Alabama this year. At home, pretty good, 10-3. I get that. 3-2 in their last 5. Arkansas not very good on the road, 2-11 overall. You look at the last game they played. in January in Arkansas. It was a 93-91 game. Arkansas was 7-point favorites at that time. That's when Alabama wasn't as good. Arkansas was looking a little better than they actually were. I believe this game went to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Alabama shot 50% in this game. They had 57 shots. Arkansas shot